Yay! Podcast, turn on.
Come on, guys. Max and I did a better job just ourselves last week.
Well, it's not me, is it? It's Glove and it's...
So then, guys, hello, my name's Jason. I'm doing sort of leading the D22Zone podcast today, as I was off last week.
We filled in, and we did good.
Oh, yeah.
Except that nobody got to see the video, but we'll figure that out.
Oh, yeah, silly YouTube. But I've got some new people that have sort of like come back and joined us. We've got Ben. Say hi, Ben.
Hello, yeah, it's my triumphant return.
Woohoo!
Woo!
Ben has been making the Earth spin that little bit faster. That's what he's been doing.
Is that like
walking from west to east? Is that the right way? Maybe
like
the other way.
British
Anyway,
thing?
the point is I need to check my notes. I've been doing some walking.
That's Ollie, everybody.
We have Ollie back, of course, on his triumphant mobile internet speeds.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, well, I had attaching babies to planes, fine, but as soon as I try and talk about something else, I lie.
Do you know what? I wonder, is it snowing in Scotland at the moment, isn't it?
No, not anymore.
Oh, I heard that it was snowing in Britain.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Pretty crazy.
Should not happen.
Weird?
Yeah. Isn't it?
What?
Well, I think weird part is that we had 22-degree weather, literally 3 or 4 days ago, and now it's snowing pretty much everywhere.
Actually, what is weird is that it's raining where I am, which is strange because, we've been told that we're in this huge drought and they're going to have to turn off all the water and hosepipe bans and all that, and doom and gloom. But no, it's just chucking it down.
Yeah, it absolutely poured it down today. But nope. Can't use those hose pipes.
Not that I actually have a garden that I need to use a hose on or anything, but if I want to have a hose pipe and just hose down my living room, god damn it, I don't see any reason why I can't.
Exactly.
This is America.
God, government. Thanks, Obama.
Yeah, Obama.
So, I guess we should talk about video games or something.
I think that's what we do.
I mean, we don't really have to.
Well, what have I been playing this week? I've been playing a mixture of things. From
I've been playing
Dota
so much
2.
Dota 2, I can't even contact you.
Well, actually, I've only played 114 hours, which isn't too bad since I got it, I think, in December. But I have been playing on more interesting things, basically, because I'm starting to lose the will with Dota. On more interesting things, I've been playing ARMA II with Ollie, and we've downloaded a zombie mod, which is sort of totally out of the question because ARMA II is a very sort of tactical warfare game. But this zombie mod is creepy as hell. It will scare you.
Really?
We're like driving around in a car, all around. What's the map called, Ollie? I forgot. Chernarus, isn't it?
Well, yeah, Chernarus or Takistan. It depends. You do any of the maps in Arma if you have them. Just zombie dynamic sandbox is brilliant, very accurate and pants-shittingly good.
This is a third-party mod, is it, rather than like a DLC or anything?
I think it is a third-party mod. Yeah, it's no DLC. I think the only official DLC is Operation Arrowhead, or is that a standalone game? I can't remember now.
Or an expandalone.
Oh yeah. British
or possibly
Armed
a
Forces.
expansion.
Ah. Yeah, no, it's like was playing some on Tuesday, Monday, can't even remember. And like you'll be running around in this huge open world, like it's pretty open, and you'll be running around, and then instantly you'll sort of hear a zombie scream, and it's no sort of ordinary Left 4 Dead 2 zombie scream. It freaks you out like properly. It's a pretty intense mod, I've got to say.
I kind of want to pick that up now. I'm so into
tempted.
survival horror, it's not even funny.
It's amazing thing is that you can pick up ARMA II for free.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought so.
The most other amazing thing is when my internet doesn't lag. But yeah, you can get ARMA II free, and you can get that map as well for and it works. It works fine.
That's
Done.
cool.
Done deal.
Done. ARMA 2 free download, please.
Please. PLS.
I've actually still got a
Speaking
copy of it sitting in my Steam account that I've never ever, installed and played. So
Well, now you got a reason.
now I've got a
Even
reason.
if ARMA 2, the zombie mod, isn't your thing, you can literally just build a map and fly the vehicles around and just play around. That is such good fun. Like jumping in the C-130, which is like some huge fat-off transporter plane. It's just epic. It's just fantastic. And it's even better when you're playing on a server which has got 128 people in, and you're actually transporting these people to like the target location. It's just epic. Like Battlefield 3, tactical wise, this outweighs it big time. If you've got a good team, that is. All it does is take one troll to kill about 30 people in the plane that just crash it. So, but no, it's I love it, and it's I can't remember when did ARMA 2 actually come out.
Let's see here.
I'm gambling 2008.
2009.
2009. So.
Yeah, 2009. That was close.
I think. Yeah, ARMA came out in 2008, I think, or 2007. Well,
Yeah.
the original. Yeah.
Well, the game does look visually fantastic as well. If you get like all your graphics on high, it will destroy your PC for sure. But
Good. I've been looking for a challenge for this PC. But that said, I've been playing this week, just to segue things along, is a lot of Battlefield 3. And that really does look good if you push it all the way up. That's pretty serious.
Good segue.
I'll ask you about that.
Yeah, I sort of finally came around to Battlefield 3 quite late in the game, because this came out in, November? And it's taken me this long to sort of get over the whole Origin thing and, wait for the price to drop to a point where I was kind of happy to take the plunge on it. And yeah, Battlefield 3, it's a lot of fun. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Battlefield series anyway, so, I mean, it's kind of a given that I already love the formula there. But, my god, just Origin is incredibly obnoxious. Launching the whole game through the browser thing is just a bizarre design decision. So, from the moment I fired it up, I was like, well, I'm still looking for the graphics options and to rebind my controls. But for some reason, I've got to launch it through a browser, install a browser plugin, and then just get thrown into a multiplayer match. And there's stuff exploding all around. I'm trying to figure out where the crouch button is. I don't know. This doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
I could go on about Origin for hours on end. I can't imagine how much money they've poured into not Origin, sorry, Battlelog, the browser thing for Battlefield 3. Can't imagine.
That tracks your stats and everything there.
It does,
and it's also a social network. It's like a Facebook rip-off where you can't so much sort of like things that happen on your friend's page as you can hooah them, which is as obnoxious a bit of sort of US military porn on a social networking site as I think you'll ever see. But
America.
Okay.
Yeah.
America. Yeah, no, I've heard terrible things about Origin, about the service itself, about the support, and really that's the only thing that stops me from buying EA games on my PC is Origin.
Hopefully they'll come to sense and think, yep, Origin was a big fat waste of time. Battlelog, I don't know who came up with that idea, but they should be fired.
But you're fired, yeah.
Yeah, Jason for D22Zone said so. Sorry, here are your marching orders. Everything in the cardboard box.
Battlelog has caused me so much hassle. Like, my internet speed downloads 150 kilobytes, okay? It takes me enough time to download the whole game, and then it tells me to re-download the game again. And it's just like, why are you just that bit more annoying than anything else that I've found annoying? It's just... I can't imagine the amount of money spent to make battlelog browser compatible with, like, you know, Firefox, Chrome.
Yeah, it's a bizarre thing that they've poured all this money into developing this kind of sort of web application front end thing that launches it. I mean, okay,
why
so counterpoint, I can see why they're sort of trying to converge everything into the browser, so you've got that whole online social sharing thing, and it integrates with your EA account. And I don't know, I guess someone somewhere decided, hey, it'll be easier this way. You know, I mean, it's easy to build a web page compared to making your own whole front-end user interface menu thing, right?
Oh, sure. But
I don't know.
it's
not very good yet. So...
Yeah, it's funny because we were talking about this ad nauseum, Max and I, in regards to Mass Effect and Star Wars: The Old Republic, which are obviously EA's two sort of
other big Origin bulls,
the big guys right now. And it's funny. The more I thought about this, the more it seems like somebody at either EA, or I don't know if it has any like associate companies or whatever, it's almost like they're 3 years behind everything. Like they still think pay-to-play MMO is a good idea. Something happened to Mass Effect 3. I don't know. I don't even want to talk about that. But it's you know, they want to get into the social networking space, and it's weird to me. I don't know.
Yeah, they bought PopCap last year. When was Plants vs. Zombies? When was the last Peggle?
Yeah, actually, they bought PopCap. Okay, yeah, no, they bought PopCap. Yep, they sure did, for a lot of money too. It was like a $500 million, I think.
Yeah, it was a pretty expensive buy.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's really done anything for them yet, but
I think it probably has for the mobile division. Because to get
fair point.
Yeah, Plants vs. Zombie on your mobile apps and things like that, that's a huge market. But in terms of like your hardcore games, I don't even know what's going on. So
well, hardcore nothing, but just PC. I mean, I'm still waiting for Plants vs. Zombies 2, basically.
Not sure if I want to see that, if it's it'll not be going to be developed by
you pay for every
PopCap
evolution of the pea shooter, but yeah.
I just want my little sunflowers to dance again. do. Look at her dance! Look at her go! I spent so much time.
Okay, sorry, I don't want to leave Battlefield 3 being a total negative Nancy towards it, because it is really good, and the kind of the core Battlefield stuff is still there, and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, Origin blows, and either I mean I'm cool with Origin sticking around, I guess, because Steam needs some competition. God knows Steam needs some competition, but they just really need to spruce it up and actually be competitive with the kind of the features and the reliability of Steam before I think I'm kind of confident jumping onto that platform with sort of both feet.
Personally, Origin isn't my problem. I think Origin could work. Like, sure, they've got a lot of stuff to add to it, but launching games from Origin, I haven't found the sort of like a bad thing. I found Battlelog. Battlelog. I don't know why they just put Battlelog in a screen in Battlefield 3. Why don't you just load up the game like every other Battlefield game that you did? Bad Company 2, Bad Company Vietnam, Battlefield 2. Even if the server browser was crap in Battlefield 2, you could still get some results. And just seeing that browser pop up stupid thing saying join in server, and then you see your stupid Battlefield 3 icon pop in your taskbar and you have to manually click it for it to open up. It's just like, what are you thinking? Who thought of this? I bet developers sort of sat around the table and go, how can we piss off half the population of America and the UK in designing something which obviously doesn't work and is in a browser? which no one really wants to use anyway. Oh, that's right, it'll come out battlelog. You know, it's just what are they thinking?
My theory is that it's not the developers, it's management. So somebody...
I was going to say, as someone who's worked in game development, I'd just like to say it almost certainly was not the developers. Quite likely the developers said, hey, this is a really bad idea,
this is
and
awful.
got steamrolled.
You just watch battlelog now be filled up with stupid EA adverts, which will come up full screen, and you can't close them for 1 minute and 30 seconds. You just watch, that'll be the future of that. Okay, my round.
Nah, never. No, there'd be so much shit.
EA trying to monetize something?
No, that would... Nah. I can imagine if games were free, and you got the game for free, and you got ads like that, that would be acceptable. And they did that, didn't they?
Well, sorry, just thinking of sort of monetizing stuff. Battlefield 3, this is a game that still costs upwards of 20 quid, and you still have to pay, 12 quid for the Back to Carcount expansion, which has got all the cool maps in it. This is a game where they've recently started selling unlock kits, so you can just buy all of the unlocks that you'd otherwise earn in-game straight away for a further expenditure of about 25 quid. Now, this is something that we would normally expect to see in a free-to-play game.
Yep.
But it's not.
So I think, yeah, and it's kind of not free. I kind of paid for those weapons already. I kind of object, actually, to having those weapons behind this sort of hour-long, 100-hour-long unlock tree. Anyway, why can't I just have my guns with all the little handles and twiddly bits and bipods that go on them?
Because real men don't use guns.
Yeah, real men run around with a gun that doesn't have like a grip on it for some reason because they just decided. Yeah.
Go in there with your bare hands.
That's what modern warfare is actually like. It's like, oh, sorry, you're only a corporal. You don't get a laser sight for your gun. Here, Sergeant, have like a grenade launcher. That's how it works in real life, I'm sure.
Well, you might not be far off there.
Haven't you been to war in real life? No.
Me?
I will.
I don't want to talk about it.
I have not seen combat.
Back in Vietnam.
Back in Da Nang.
Trees, man. Trees.
Is that where you lost your legs and your internet connection?
Yeah, it's still back in Vietnam. It's why snaking up those rivers.
Just trailing Cat 5 at the back of the boat behind you.
Something had to go.
Well, okay. While we're doing, Cold War proxy wars, the other thing I've been playing a lot of recently is Wargame European Escalation. So switch up from the FPS action there, and that is a hell of a game. It's a really tremendous strategy game. That it's. I don't know if any of you have I've played it, watched videos, looked at the screenshots, say read my review, hypothetically speaking. It's kind of in the sort of the world in conflict vein, in that you don't have a sort of a base building side of things to worry about, and the economics of it is all pared down to just raking in points through holding ground. And so it's got I'm going to say world in conflict and ground control before that. It's got that vibe of you just sort of kind of pick a whole bunch of units to bring in to form the bulk of your army, and then it's between you and the other guy and the stuff that's on the map in your way, and how you manage to get the terrain between you and the other guy, and whether you manage to take the forest and the high ground and blow up his tanks before he, I don't know,
blows up yours.
Forest infantry are in, for example. And from that, you get this really tense sort of close-up battle that, I mean, they only last for probably around sort of 20 minutes, the kind of online matchups, but they're all combat all the time. There's no sort of there's no worrying about like a build order or anything like that, except for the first sort of couple of minutes where you're choosing your units and laying them out on the field. After that, it's just kind of like the starter's gun fires and everyone's off. And so it's a really great step for RTS, I think, because I don't think we've really seen enough of that world in conflict ground control formula being iterated upon in the past few years, and it's great to see something like that come out of it again.
It was a fun game, World in Conflict.
Yeah. We saw it at Gamescom, didn't we?
Sure did.
And it was
European Escalation, or
back then.
Yeah. European. Do you remember when we walked over there? Like, it was empty, literally. Like, what are all these noobs like, around us?
Yeah, the opposite was what the Sonic and Mario at the Olympics or whatever. Smashed Sniper Wolf 2. Smashed his face in at the volleyball. Love ground control. Love World in Conflict. And I think Ruse is the only one that's quite recently kind of been in that same vein, except there was base building in that, which is kind of...
I mean, Ruse is the obvious one to go to because it's made by the same people. It's Eugen Systems again.
It's Tim Engine, isn't it?
I've never quite figured out whether it's Eugen or Eugen, but them being a German company. But it's them anyway. But Ruse did have a bit more base building to it, and Ruse was very much. It was a pretty vanilla strategy game, and very much focused around the kind of the cards and the ruses that you were playing to fox your opponent, which was kind of nice in a sort of a poker face kind of a way. You'd never know whether the offensive is a bluff or not, but yeah, I'm not about to break into Lady Gaga there.
Yes, you are. You just don't know it yet.
The seed has been planted in my mind, and I can't think of anything else now.
Through some creative editing on my part.
But yeah, Wargame does away with all of the ruses. It does away with, in fact, because in World in Conflict, a lot of the game, so the dynamism of the game came from having the sort of the general powers, the off-map support things that you could call in. So if the enemy was dug into a position, you'd call in an artillery strike or a napalm strike or a nuke if for some reason you'd been forgetting about your general's powers for the past half an hour and all the points had ticked up to maximum. But that's like totally stripped out in Wargame. So any artillery that you call in has to be a unit that you've got parked behind the next hill. You don't get any jets you can call in for off-map support. There's no way you're being handed a nuke to play with.
But this is America.
Funnily enough, it is America. Well, it's not America, it's NATO versus the Warsaw Pact. So as well as all of the ridiculous American units and their colossal tanks and everything, you've also got the Brits running about being sarky down the radio channel at you, and the Germans and also the French. Insert joke about French military here.
That's too overused.
Yeah, it is a bit.
So, that's why we're going to use it.
Yeah, the loss with the off-map support powers is actually probably a good thing because it focuses you much more on moving your units about and trying to beat the enemy defensive position with sort of flanking advances and just kind of smart movement and unit choice rather than just hitting them with everything you've got until eventually their units just sort of crumple under the weight of the napalm that you're raining down on them, for example.
How realistic is it, would you say?
It's probably about medium realistic, I think. It recreates in fairly impressive detail quite a lot of kind of period units, and they've sort of nominated the period. I think it's 75 to 85, that kind of time. And so you've got some sort of technological developments of the units, and so low tech stuff that was around in 75 you can buy up very cheaply and just spack out loads of tanks onto the field, and the more expensive kind of prototype stuff is going to pretty much spank the cheap stuff any day of the week, but hey, you can only afford 2 of those heavy tanks. So yeah, it's reasonably well balanced in that sense. In terms of realism, there's obviously certain sacrifices made to balance. they're pretty dedicated to realism. I mean, here's the thing: the patch notes read like, "Oh wait, crap, we totally got that thing wrong." Hang on, I'm gonna go and see if I can find an example now. Oh yeah, they increased the reloading time of the MLRS systems by 30 seconds. And decreased the reload time for the RM70 by 20 seconds to properly simulate the fast reload barrel system. So they've done their research. They're sitting there with a copy of like Jane's Open or whatever, and they're flipping through and reading about these angry war vehicles and getting their mechanics correct for them. The challenge for them then comes with balancing them through things like the cost of them, and there's a limit to how many of each unit you can summon to the field. So for like an expensive tank destroyer or an artillery piece or something, maybe you'll only be allowed to bring 8 total, so that's sort of 2 squads of 4. But for infantry, maybe you can bring like 40 squads of 10 people each and just march your Roman legion across the fields towards the enemy guns with like it's World War I or something.
With 40 guys. It's gonna be like the end of Blackadder.
40 times 10, so 400 guys. But
that makes such a difference.
It does when they're all holding AT launchers, but in truth they will all just get mown down and you'll just have waited 400 lives.
Oh god.
So not a great strategy, but
so it's pretty realistic then.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Certainly, infantry caught out anywhere at all are screwed. But they're incredibly effective if they're stuck in buildings or in forests, that sort of thing, where they've got a lot of cover. There's one element of it that my friend always whinges about, which is that helicopters are quite easily shot down by just like guys with rifles. He is adamant that that's not realistic. I must reiterate, I've not seen combat myself, but I kind of feel like if I was in a helicopter and there were 10 guys shooting rifles at me, one of them could probably get a lucky shot and maybe put some holes in like my fuel tank or something. I mean, I don't know, but that feels like a thing that would be bad.
A lot of helicopters are quite bulletproof.
Okay.
You'd be surprised.
Well, you're the war vet here. You're the one with the practical experience.
Well, you know, in the Hueys, the Hueys were useless because they had big bubble window on the front, and you know, there's nothing you could do. That was it. You're pretty much dead.
Yeah, but they
you have Hueys in the name. You can just reenact Apocalypse Now if you want to, and fly all your infantry in Hueys and shoot rockets at the enemy to stun them, and land your infantry and charge up the beaches at them, and your infantry will all then get killed horribly. But up until then, it's quite impressive.
Which button is it to have Martin Sheen have a heart attack during the game?
Actually, that's all it's missing. Actually, is just like some hero units. You know, you should be able to just have your Martin Sheen
and your
infantryman running up the beach. Hire Rambo or something.
Yeah. Or the Charlie Sheen movie from Hot Shots 2.
Oh yes.
I've got to say, Rambo was one of those movies where I'll never sort of forget it.
Well, it's Rambo.
The last one.
The first one's
well, it depends on what you're on about. If you're on about the goodness, he just gets on a 50. No,
I remember that.
He gets his knife and then he cuts open the stomach of the person that's on the mounted machine gun, and then he takes over.
And then he says,
and then he shoots the
"And I
guy
thought they
right
smelled bad on the outside."
In the head. With that fucking machine gun, and he just starts mowing every bastard down in the film.
Yep.
He just kills every, and it's
Spoiler.
ridiculous. And he doesn't for about an hour.
Oh no. Reloading some panties.
America.
Just America.
That has been the theme of this podcast so far, hasn't it?
America.
Yeah.
War?
Yeah.
I feel out of the loop now.
USA!
You guys are funny. I don't want to talk about video games. Let's talk about puppies.
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 I have quite a pair.
Of
No, what I was
what?
about to say. I've been enjoying some Shogun 2 Total War.
Okay, with the expansion, the new thing.
I
that's come
haven't
out,
bought
or-
that yet, no. It's a bloody good looking game. Oh, and it's you'd think it would get more complicated, like, sort of, but it really doesn't. Like, it's probably just as basic as Rome Total War. It's excellent. And Christ, like, the battles you can have are just epic.
You want to get DLC, the 99p DLC or whatever it is, that adds the really gory animations and stuff.
I've heard of
really
that.
funny. It is hilarious.
I've heard
You
of
see
that.
your little samurai chopping off limbs, and you zoom right in, and blood spurts on your screen, and it gets so stupid. It's amazing. It's probably the best thing I've ever seen.
Ever. And he's seen the
Ever.
miracle of life. Well, I feel out of the loop now because I played and completed The Darkness 2. Game of the year, by the way. That is an
Game of the year as
Game of the
decided
year.
by.
me, obviously.
Hang on, it hasn't even out for a year yet.
Doesn't matter. It's just out this year. That's all that counts. Game
It's
of
that good.
the
It's
year,
game
not
of the
game
year
of a
every
year.
year.
Yeah, it's that's an incredible game. I can't believe nobody told me how good that game was, guys. You're slacking off. The storyline is great. The combat is visceral, to say the least. It was a thrill ride the entire way. From word go, you are just thrown into the action, and it doesn't stop.
Does it deliver?
It delivers. Oh, it delivers.
What's the kind of the cool thing that it hands you? You've got some sort of I know reasonably little about this game, so you've got some sort of superpowered demon thing living inside you, and it gives you tentacles, as so far as I can tell.
Yes.
And from that arises gore
Yes.
somehow.
Yes, it does.
Can you fill in the blanks for me?
Gore and strategy, surprisingly, they did a really good job of like balancing the gameplay. So it was challenging, but it wasn't throw your controller up against the wall. It was really good. But the storyline is that you're this mobster, Jackie Estacado, who, as in the Darkness comic books, is in control of this power called the Darkness. Or is it controlling him?
Yeah. Yes.
That's part of the story.
That's quite the premise.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah. Twist of year.
Of all years. But actually, there's quite a number of really good twists in this game, and I can't really mention any of them because it would just ruin it for people who want to play. But I would say that for people who are fans of sort of psychological thrillers, you might also want to give this one a shot.
Okay.
It was surprisingly deep. So
I heard there's some sort of mechanic whereby like you're meant to stick in the shadows, and because otherwise you lose your powers or something. Like a guy with a flashlight turns up and that's it. Your superpowers go away. So is it a stealth game, or is it?
oh no,
Are
no,
your
no.
powers kind of enough to keep you, running and gunning and chopping people into tiny pieces?
The latter. The light hurts you, and it makes you not able to use your tentacles or your darkness powers. And it's amazing how much that plays into sort of the strategy of things. Enemies will take advantage of that. You can take advantage of that. Things like that. But it's sort of like Alan Wake in reverse, where in Alan Wake you had to shine the light to kill people. Well, it's like you're that guy that's getting killed if you get the light shone on you. But that was actually
an obvious sort of crossover expansion here. Alan Wake versus the Darkness.
Okay, first of all, Alan Wake, right? Get the guys who made that and get the rights to the X-Files license, and take all my money. Take all of my money, all of it, all of it. It would be really nice to see a good X-Files game.
Man, Mulder was a sexy mother.
Mulder, are you okay?
Who's the black private dick who's a sex machine with all the chicks? Shaft! Can't dig it. They say this cat Shaft is a bad mother. Shut your mouth. I'm talking about Shaft.
I wouldn't say no.
Mulder's the man.
Yeah.
Mulder's the man, and now he's all weird. David Duchovny's got a sex addiction, and I don't even know anymore.
Exactly.
My whole world's upside down. Men with sex addictions? Unheard of. Yeah, so The Darkness 2, pick it up. It's great, and there's a ton of replay value. Because there's the single player campaign. I can't remember if there's a multiplayer, but I don't have Xbox Live, so I couldn't try it out. But they also have sort of a secondary single player campaign where you can play as different people, and I'm not really sure if it ties into the comic books.
Okay.
But it's like you have two campaigns. So there was ample replay time. I spent about 20 hours with it, and I hadn't really even touched that part of it. So you get a lot of value-free money there.
So you plowed through this on the Xbox then, so
Yep.
presumably you were using a controller the whole way through.
Yep.
Jason, did you play the demo and did you use a mouse and keyboard? Because that was it's another sort of question I often have about these action games. Does the control system really transfer across to PC, or is it pretty much obligatory controller?
I played a couple of bits and pieces at the London Expo.
Alright.
And it was still like, it wasn't even released then, so but like some of the things that we noticed was like not particularly like control stuff, but more sort of in-game stuff. Like there wasn't really anything like control-wise. It was done on the Xbox consoles, so
Okay.
you know, we walked up to it and thought, what the hell is this? Doesn't have a QWERTY setup, you know, what is this?
I'm sure they've figured that out. The controls work really well on the Xbox, so I don't see any reason why they wouldn't on the PC. But
yeah, I mean, to an extent, I sympathise with developers who say, "Oh, you know, you just got to play it with a controller. It's a third-person action game. Get over it. It's just better played that way." I mean, Super Meat Boy starts with a big screen saying, "Seriously, play this with a controller."
Yeah.
And I kind of sympathise with that position. On the other hand, I sympathise with the gamer who says, "Yeah, but screw you. I don't want to outlay like 20 quid on a controller when I've got a perfectly good mouse and keyboard sat right in front of me. Just make the controls work for it."
Yep.
And it's an issue that's probably going to sort of bubble to a head fairly soon, because I mean, Assassin's Creed 3, Ubisoft announced this week, I think, that's not going to have mouse and keyboard support.
What?
That's obligatory controller.
Are you kidding me?
No. Are you sure? I heard it was that it's being designed with controllers in mind, moreover, than keyboard and mouse. But you still use the keyboard and mouse.
We got to get a lockdown on these rumors, man. Our rumor mill is just out of control.
Rumor.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed for controllers only. Valve is getting bought out by EA. It's chaos. It's chaos.
Okay, so the quote was from Alex Hutchinson, creative director of Assassin's Creed 3. He said that Ubisoft didn't plan to invest in a mouse and keyboard setup. So
what does that
can
mean?
go either way, I guess.
That means nothing.
Okay, I don't see us investing hugely in a mouse and keyboard setup. If you want to play on PC and you want to play Assassin's Creed, you have a controller.
That's dumb. The only reason I play on the Xbox is because I can rent them.
Assassin's Creed on the PC with a controller any particularly like the mouse and keyboard setup, because it felt like controlling a massive turd.
Yeah.
Where do we think PC gaming is going? Like, there was a little thing, somebody, I think Costa put up a note on one of our articles saying that, especially at Game, I think you guys call it in the UK, and at GameStop, it's practically non-existent, the PC aisle, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's gone online. I mean, Steam is the obvious sort of counterpoint to that. Sure, PC gaming at high street retail is not terribly well represented, but online it's got a pretty strong showing. I mean,
yeah, that's a good point.
Very strong. There's 4,444,444 people on Steam right now.
Right now.
It's 444452 actually, but yeah,
yep.
Almost.
Valve are just making these numbers up, aren't they? Oh, make it all 4s. Oh, but like stick a 5 and a 2 on the end, otherwise no one will believe it.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a lot of people. There's a lot of 4s in there as well. So, you know,
there's at least 1 million 4s.
I think the future of PC gaming is an interesting question, and I think what really threatens, promises to shake things up is probably Windows 8. If you've had a look at that,
I have not,
because Microsoft are keen, it seems, to really shake up the old sort of desktop. I want to say something other than paradigm for interacting with your computer, and along with sort of everything else, they're launching their own sort of app store for it, and I presume that's going to get folded into Games for Windows Live, and we're going to see a lot more integration between the Xbox Live store and Games for Windows Live, and they're basically going to launch their competitor Steam. And given that Microsoft are the people that hold the keys to the platform, they could, if they wanted to, get all monopolistic about this and
Microsoft
increasingly grumpy. And well, quite. So, I mean, I'm a little worried on that front. On the other hand, I don't really think that that's a strategy that they'd really pursue, but they could make things difficult for competitors, even if they don't. You know.
Well, and that would probably benefit us, because then, you know, Steam sales. More Steam sales. More Steam sales. More Steam sales.
I have 287 games on Steam. I can't fit 10 games on my computer at the moment. So
yeah, I have that same problem.
Fucking Steam.
Oh yeah, it's Steam's fault.
It's completely Steam's fault.
Thanks a lot, Steam.
Deals. I hate you.
And Obama.
Obama.
Look, you can't blame the users. You've got to blame the drug pushers.
Yeah.
By the way, have you guys seen his beers?
Gabe?
It's fucking magnificent.
Gabe Newell. Yes.
He has a beard. I want to stroke it. I would consider having sex with him with that beard.
With the beard or with him? Because they kind of come as like they come together, you know. This podcast took a weird turn. What's the future of PC gaming?
Beards.
Beards, yeah. I see beards in our future.
I would sport a beard, but I'm not allowed to. I think it's beard envy.
Is that a thing? Is that a thing that guys get? Huh. Speaking about things that guys get, we forgot to talk about our fun giveaway!
Yay!
Yay!
We have a fun giveaway.
Right.
We have a fun
and
giveaway.
It's entirely for guys only?
Probably, because there's no girls on the internet, remember?
Oh, yes.
Well...
yes, I remember. You're an anomaly.
I am the one. Yeah, no, so, as you know, we started this last week, in the Top Gun podcast, as we call it. We have been doing giveaways on steamgifts.com, and I'll put some little information up here. And what happens is half the code for the Earl that will bring you to the private giveaway, so your chances of winning are tremendously increased, will be somewhere in this podcast as an annotation, and I'm going to insert it right here for the people who just want to listen to the podcast. And the other half will be somewhere on the site. And you put those two together, you get your oral, and then you enter and you win. And it's fun. It's fun for everybody. It's good, wholesome, family time fun for everyone.
Or,
get the kids, just circle around the laptop. What is it this week? What are we giving away?
We're giving away Bulletstorm.
Ah, nice.
Storm of bullets.
Nice. That looks like a super fun game.
Sure is.
That looks great. Has the Skyrim giveaway ended yet?
I
think it did, eh?
It will be ending tonight. Well, it would be ending yesterday at 12 p.m.
Because by the time they listen to this podcast, which of course goes out live.
Oh, exactly. It's super live. I do the video in real time. It's really hard on my wrists, but I do what I can.
You weren't a real girl. You're a render farm. You're a super intelligent AI just blazing away at the editing.
Okay, fine. Let's all act like humans. Look at me. Boy, do I love sweating. Let's convert beef and leaves into energy and excrete them later and go shopping.
That's the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me. Could you not? It's kind of creepy.
Okay.
Awkward silence.
Well, I don't know if we want to end on that, on a giveaway.
Well, it's not a bad place to... Does anybody...
I give out my heart and soul every day on the podcast.
Ollie, did you say what you had been playing?
No, I've been playing City 4.
Okay.
Okay, then that's podcast for
everyone should buy it. Bye, guys.
Podcast over.
Bye, guys.
Just kill it there. Just cut him off.